I just bought a forgotten police evidence crate at an auction, and what I found inside reopened a murder that was never supposed to be solved. This encrypted smartphone belonged to a missing person. The authorities hadn't touched it in years. We were racing the clock to pull the final location pings before the police shut us down. What we found at the end of those coordinates didn't just close a cold case. It proved someone had gotten away with murder for almost 7 years. This is what happened. It started 3 weeks ago at a private estate auction. The kind of place where they liquidate leftovers from old police storage lockers. Everything listed under miscellaneous property, no guarantees. I saw the wooden crate first. Faded evidence tape still clinging to the corners, stamped with a 2019 case number, opening bid $60. I got it for $85. When I pried the lid off at home, the smell hit me. Old cardboard, dried mud, and something metallic that made my stomach tighten. Inside was a cracked iPhone, the entire back caked in dried river mud. A black evidence bag with muddy hiking boots, a half-empty pack of cigarettes, and the original evidence log. The phone belonged to Elias Voss, 34. Reported missing October 12, 2019 after a solo camping trip. Search teams spent 11 days in the woods. Dogs, drones, volunteers, nothing. The case went cold and was written off as a probable accident. The box sat in storage ever since. I sat there staring at that mud-stained phone for a long time. Then I made a decision that still keeps me awake. I was going to turn it on. I know how this sounds. Accessing a missing person's private data is a legal gray area, but the case was cold. The family had stopped getting updates years ago, and that phone had been collecting dust while the person who owned it was still out there somewhere. I have a friend who works digital forensics. He owed me a favor. We met in his garage lab after midnight. He connected the water-damaged phone to a specialized extraction rig. We watched the progress bar crawl. Every minute felt like an hour. I kept glancing at the door, half expecting blue lights. My friend muttered about chain of custody and how this could end both our careers. Then the bar hit 100%. The phone unlocked. What flooded the screen still makes my skin crawl. Dozens of unread notifications, missed calls from Mom, and the last messages he ever sent, all within a 20-minute window on the night he vanished. Something's wrong with the trail. I can hear him moving when I stop walking. It's not an animal, it's him. I'm turning my light off. If I don't text again by morning, tell them the coordinates, and tell them it was Marcus. The final text was just GPS coordinates, sent at 2:17 a.m. Then the phone went dark forever. We pulled everything. Photos, voice memos, location history, call logs. The last heat map showed him moving deeper into a section of forest the original search barely checked. The coordinates weren't the campsite. They were 3 miles further in, past the old logging road, into restricted private land. Then we found the voice memo. It was corrupted, full of static and wind. But his voice, Jesus. He was whispering so quietly I had to turn the volume all the way up. Still following me. I can see the light between the trees when I look back. It's the same distance every time. I tried running. It doesn't get closer, it doesn't get farther, it just waits. Marcus, if you're listening to this, I never took the money. I swear to God I never took it. A long pause. Breathing. Then, there's a structure. Looks like an old concrete bunker half swallowed by the ground. I'm going to try and hide inside. If anyone finds this, don't come alone. and don't trust him. The memo ends with a sound I still can't forget. Not a scream, a heavy impact. Then silence. Then the sound of someone breathing hard, right next to the phone, before it cuts out completely. We cross-referenced the coordinates with 2026 satellite imagery. There it was. A small dark shape in the canopy that hadn't been visible on the 2019 maps. Something man-made the original search completely missed. And in the call logs, one number kept appearing in the days before Elias disappeared. A man named Marcus Hale, business partner. The same name Elias named in his final text and voice memo. I looked at my friend. He looked at me. We both knew what we had to do. We left before sunrise. GPS locked on those coordinates. Every mile felt heavier. The closer we got, the more the forest closed in. The road turned to gravel, then to a washed-out logging path. We hiked the last 2 miles on foot, following the phone's final pings like a digital breadcrumb trail. The trees were wrong. Too quiet. No birds, no insects, just our boots and our breathing. Then we started seeing the markers. A strip of faded orange survey tape at the exact height Elias had described. A cigarette butt, same brand as the pack in the evidence box, crushed into the mud. A boot print that matched the ones in the evidence bag, still faintly visible after all these years. The last ping was only 40 yards ahead. We found the structure just as the sun started to rise. A partially buried concrete bunker, World War II era. A narrow stairwell leading down into black. The metal hatch bent open and hanging at a broken angle. On the wall just inside, scratched deep into the concrete, were the exact same coordinates Elias had texted, and a date. October 12th, 2019, 2:41 a.m. 24 minutes after his last message. We didn't go all the way down, not alone, not without backup. We set up cameras, documented everything, photographed the scratches, the boot prints leading into the dark, the single set of prints that never came back out. Then I made the call. The sheriff's department was there within 40 minutes. They sealed the scene, took the phone, took our statements. What they found inside that bunker over the next 48 hours is still under active investigation. But one of the deputies who was there that morning, someone I went to high school with, pulled me aside later. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He told me they found Elias's remains, confirmed by dental records and DNA. He had been murdered, blunt force trauma. The body carefully placed against the far wall, the scene staged to look like he died of exposure. But there was more. Next to Elias's backpack, they found a second set of clothing. Adult male, different style and size, covered in the same dried mud. And in the pocket of those clothes, a wallet. The ID belonged to Marcus Hale, the same man Elias named in his final text and voice memo. The business partner interviewed once in 2019 and never looked at again. The man who left the state 3 weeks after Elias disappeared and never came back. The investigation is now a full homicide case. An arrest warrant has been issued. That deputy told me one last thing before he left. He said the scratches on the wall weren't just the coordinates and the date. Below them, in smaller, more frantic letters, someone had carved 6 words. He said he would make it look like an accident. I don't go into the woods anymore. And every time my phone buzzes with a notification late at night, I check the sender twice before I open it, because some boxes are better left forgotten. If this story kept you up the same way it keeps me up, drop a comment with the last place you went that felt wrong. And if you're still out there, Elias, I'm sorry we found it too late, but at least now the truth is out. Stay safe. Stay out of the trees after dark. And whatever you do, if you ever buy an old evidence crate at auction, don't turn the phone on.